Hello and welcome to Update Pending, the news you can game to. Today we have Nvidia's 50 series cards, 3060 news, Intel Battlemage series cards, AMD's new Zen 6 X3D CPU, and ASUS Mobos. On the gaming side of things, we have Ubisoft and their $1 billion restructuring, the Fable Reboot, Beast of Reincarnation, Resident Evil Requiem, and Monster Hunter Wilds. Let's get into it. Nvidia's GPU production amidst their own self-inflicted globally felt VRAM shortage, or Ramageddon, has focused on producing the RTX 5060 and 5060 Ti 8GB models while reducing the 16GB model due to the amount of DDR7 RAM it needs. The fact that we're getting more 8GB cards is just salt in the wound as the prices are skyrocketing as the year begins. Nvidia also plans to start up and ramp out the RTX 3060 production, with everyone unclear on which model we are getting. With reports and speculation, we are getting the 12GB model as it is a DDR6 card, so not really being consumed by the AI bubble, but it's still not as good as the 16GB models. It's a decent mid-range card at 12 gigabytes and will get you into the 1440p gaming range, but Jensen hasn't said if the 30 series will continue getting support through 2028. So it's pretty unclear if this is going to prop up gamers for the next few years with Nvidia's kind of messing around with stuff. Jensen also says that AI is driving the largest infrastructure build out in human history, accelerating demand for high performance GPUs, which is kind of funny as there have been data centers that have been canceled or delayed, and China is at the moment hoarding millions of dollars worth of gray market 5090s. Intel has been doing exciting things with their Battlemage series GPUs. The ARC B580 has been performing well in 1080p and 1440p gaming as a low mid-range card with 12 gigabytes of VRAM. In games like Final Fantasy XIV, Baldur's Gate 3, getting 60 to 70 FPS and 1440 shows that with the right tweaking of settings, the Battlemage B580 could be a great budget alternative in 2026 as the GPU prices soar. And on the AMD side of things, rumors from insiders have leaked that the Ryzen 10000 X3D Zen 6 CPU would be a monster on the gaming scene. The CPU is expected to feature a significant upgrade in cache capacity, with the potential for up to 192 megabytes of L3 cache via an advanced multi-layer 3DV cache technology. With 12 cores per chiplet and with AMD putting Zen 6 and 7 on the AM5 platform, means less upgrading in the future. So even though RAM will cost your firstborn in 2026, one set of DDR5 will last you for 2 generations. And with Intel supply issues and Nvidia's AI obsession, AMD is really poised to become center stage on both CPU and GPU this year. With the news of AMD's Ryzen 7 9800 X3D being the highlight CPU of 2026 so far, ASUS 800 series motherboards, the X870E chipset motherboards specifically, have had more than a few burnouts with the 9800 X3D, and ASUS is investigating reports of burnouts. They haven't figured out what's causing the failures, and they've only stated that users should update to the current version of BIOS. Rising CPU and memory prices are expected to take a huge toll on laptops and notebooks globally as Q1 marches on. Q2 is when we will really see how the industry changes and interacts based upon the supply and demand from the AI bubble. And on the gaming side of things, the gaming world's had a pretty interesting last week. Ubisoft canceled 6 projects, including Prince of Persia, which I was actually looking forward to, even though everybody was saying it was bad. I'm a big Prince of Persia fan. I would have played it just for the sake of it. They closed 2 studios, and they're trying to make a cash out business out of Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, which I really don't think it's going to prop them up at all, especially when all the gamers heard that they're trying to just use those games for money at this point. They have layoffs, and they've confirmed further layoffs. They've let 200 employees go in Paris in a major company restructure, and it sparks backlash and outcry from the Ubisoft unions. And whilst this is ongoing, Ubisoft stock is yet to recover from their major fall. They're down almost 60% in the last year. And Yves Guillemot has had this to say: today's market environment requires that the group step changes how it is organized and operates, hence the restructure. The portfolio refocus will have a significant impact on the group's short term financial trajectory, particularly in fiscal years of 2026 and 2027. But this reset will strengthen the group and enable it to renew its sustainable growth and robust cash generation. I don't know about you guys, but losing $1 billion to save $500 million and then investing money in a cash grab, cash shop business is it's not going to prop up like they're hoping to. The Fable Reboot has had a lot of news in a short amount of time, ranging from all housing being buyable and livable to Fable Reboot leaving the trilogy behind and becoming a new story altogether. The information on the facts on the website were shocking, and I quote, though the game we're making is very much faithful to the spirit of the classic Lionhead trilogy, Fable is a new beginning for the Fable franchise, and it isn't a continuation of the original games. End quote. And I think the most jarring and hating aspect, especially for me, to come is that Playground Games is dropping multiplayer altogether, making the new Fable a single player experience, which isn't really fun in this day and age when everybody's got a duo or a trio they want to play with. Sure, single player RPGs are great, but I think Fable with in this day and age would thrive with a 2 to 3, maybe even 4 person multiplayer. Next up, we have something that I never really expected to see. We have a multi platform game by Game Freaks that isn't Pokemon and is in 3D. It really, I had to double check to make sure because when I was reading about Beast of Reincarnation, it was like, no, they stepped away from Pokemon. But it's Game Freak's take on man and or woman and their dog. From the gameplay we've seen, it really looks like it plays a lot like a Monster Hunter. You hunt down infected monsters, you fight huge bosses with movesets that require some reflexive control, maybe some forethought. And I would imagine that Game Freak has been pretty burnt out on Pokemon games, as that's really what they've been doing for a while, especially with the reception of the last one. I didn't play it, but I've heard that it's really bad. It's only in a town and you can't go inside anywhere. It's very fetch it instead of catch it. And this is probably a project they wanted to do for a really long time. Furushima was even quoted in interviews stating that their focus would be on bug fixes and optimizations and not high graphic fidelity. But from what I can see, the game looks pretty, and if it runs well, it could really net some big numbers for Game Freak. And I think they need this. I think they need a big hit, a big new IP, so they can have bigger iterations like they do with Pokemon. Like Pokemon was a huge hit, and that's all they did. Pokemon, 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 Pokemon. So maybe Beast Reincarnation could have 2 or 3 iterations. Give them time to get more and bigger and better IPs out. Maybe try to start cutting ties with Nintendo because you know how they are lately. Although I wonder what Furushima thinks about Pal World. I don't. I gotta dive more into that because that might be an interesting kind of take that he would have. And on to the next game, we have Resident Evil Requiem. Now, this is going back because Requiem's bringing back the ink ribbons, man, and ink ribbons are they're finally making the jump back to strategy. And with Resident Evil, they have all been pew pew zombie horror, depending on the game and how it progresses, and it could be super linear. It it really fell off, and bringing back ink ribbons is like saying, hey, we haven't forgot Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and back Resident Evil 2 is the best one in my opinion. You don't like it, fight me in the comments. But ink ribbons could give you interesting speed runs, challenging speed runs, because you could end up having to restart the game based on how badly you're playing. You take too much damage and heal too much, you're screwed on a big boss fight and you can't surpass it. Use too much ammo, you can't progress the level. It makes you really think about item control, and that's something the series has lost because mm, just having no ammo and out comes Nemesis really makes you want to throw your controller through your TV, like it was back in the day. And the last game for today is Monster Hunter Wilds. It's been getting optimization patches for a little bit now, and this week's no different. On the 27th, they got version 1.040, and that was released to Steam players on the 27th. The main focus of this patch is to reduce the processing load while adding new optimization improvements. This includes things like improving the shader compilation processes, reducing stuttering, VRAM usage enhancements. But I don't think that's going to help too much on 8 gigabyte cards, but it should offer some relief. And with D. Tyler Moran, I hope I said that right, recently finding a bug that affects performance by constantly checking for DLC products, this patch would effectively get rid of that and improve optimization even more. I haven't played the game as of yet, but I am going to play it in the future. I am happy that all the optimizations come into play before I've actually dropped $70 for the game, as DLC is coming for Monster Hunter Wilds this year, I believe. So I believe the main focus of Capcom has been optimization, because the DLC is going to introduce Master Rank, which is Monster Hunter Hard Mode, and I would hope that when they would have huge optimization patches all the way up to DLC, they would go on a big campaign to get their player base back, and then have a smash game like Rise once again. Now, am I hoping for a lot? Yes, but we shall see as time goes on. Now, I'm going to give my final thoughts on some things here, not to be so clinical and very robotic, but Nvidia's AI obsession has really gotten under my skin. I have been building PC after PC after PC spec wise, and I luckily was able to grab 16 gigabyte DDR5 6000 for under $200, but lately the prices have been insanely high. Like, the gap between low and mid and high tier graphics card has expanded so far that the mid range has become the budget range at this point. The 5060 Ti over where I'm at is only $70 more expensive than the RX 9060 XT, and the price per performance ratio still puts the 9060 over the 5060. And with the 3060 coming out, I think people are going to fall back as long as it's 12 gigabyte. But if they give you the 3060 8 gigabyte, it's like a big FU to gamers alike. So I think AMD really has an opportunity to step it up. They've been going tit for tat with Nvidia lately with Redstone, and I think they got something hidden. I think they're gonna come out swinging when Nvidia releases the 60 series, and AMD is just like, "Hey, here's my 10K series. Eat a ball." Intel, I'm very surprised. Intel has not been a competitor in my eyes for over 20 years, really. And from the benchmarking numbers, I mean, their ARC series cards, I give them respect on that. I mean, they're not the greatest, but it's their foot in the door. They can actually put some presence back on the gaming scene. I mean, their CPUs aren't horrible, but AMD, in my opinion, has been better for a while. I don't know how close Intel can get to AMD, but I think AMD felt a little pressure by Intel's new chipsets. But I wouldn't say it would be, oh my God, let's worry about Intel. But yeah, I think Nvidia's AI session has given ample opportunity to their competitors to step it up a notch to really close the gap. I mean, in my opinion, I stopped being an Nvidia fan once EVGA was gone. That's when the quality really tanked. It was more about money after that, and I was having no part of it. And like when it comes to PC building, all I've seen for a long time now is AMD CPUs. I mean, the X3D cards even are just the 3D cache is a game changer. I've watched benchmarks that they don't run that hot, and you get 10, 12 FPS based on increase based on what CPU you're going against. Although I, I'm really interested to see who's gonna need that 10,000 X3D because that's just a monster no one needs, but everyone's gonna want to use just for the heck of it. And knowing ASUS, they will probably build a board to burn it out, and that'll be funny. I'm calling it now. ASUS boards are going to burn the 10,000 X3D a couple times, and then they'll do the same thing. Update your BIOS. And when it comes to the games, man, Ubisoft, I don't care about. I didn't care about Ubisoft for the longest time. I just find it funny that they keep messing up. They keep putting inept people in charge. Fable, I was very disappointed about. I loved Fable. I played them all. I really love them, but I really don't like that they're dropping multiplayer because I think Fable would be a great game with a duo, specifically just the duo. Beast Reincarnation, I'm very much interested in. It looks interesting, and I want to give Game Freaks a chance. Like I grew up on Pokemon. I grew up before the internet, so I was there when before Pokemon was Pokemon. And even though I'm so old, I still got a soft spot. So Game Freaks, I hope they do well, and I hope Beast and Reincarnation is good. Give them a break from the Pokemon burnout that everybody gets. Resident Evil, I probably will play eventually. It won't be a day one purchase for me, but I'm gonna wait and see how the reviews come out. I want to see if they really steer clear of the linearity and actually go immersive and strategy based because that would be great. I really do not want another was it Resident Evil 5 and 6. Ugh. I forget which one it is, but it's the one with what's her face. It was just basically a straight shot to the end of the game. It was just like, go here, this. It was like being dragged on a rope. It was just horrible. It was so bad I can't even really remember which one it was. And it was just horrible all around. So that's me, guys, and I hope that you keep coming back to Update Pending, your go-to source for PC tech and gaming news. We cover GPU and CPU updates. If it runs on Silicon or Pixels, it's probably pending an update here. So like and subscribe, and never leave an update pending on news that actually matters.